हाँ.
Okay, let me
Hell,
start checking in. कर start कर.
what कर start कर. Are we not live?
हाँ we are live, don't worry.
Where is the intro video?
उसमें वो टाइमर का ही बता रहे हैं.
What do you mean?
अरे टाइमर वीडियो का दे रहा है ऑप्शन कि 10 seconds left, 15 seconds left.
What about
I'll just
the
start.
our intro video, bro?
That it's not showing over here.
Excellent. तो इसलिए मैं बोल रहा था कि आराम से कर. But yes, welcome. This is live, right? Our
Yeah.
first live stream. We are acting in a very boomer way, and किसी को कुछ नहीं पता कि क्या चल रहा है, but क्योंकि नरकुंडी ने has again, I think he's broken YouTube. कि
It's a
YouTube
very
ही वो हो
generic
गया.
statement. किसी को नहीं पता क्या चल रहा है.
चलो भाई. तो क्या क्या लगता है? मंडे है, पूरा वीकेंड तुम लोग ने मार्केट देखा, पिछले 4-5 दिन से अपन ने स्ट्रीम भी नहीं किया था, तो क्या बोलते हो तुम लोग, क्या जा रही है मार्केट? क्रिप्टो एडी.
मार्केट काफी इंटरेस्टिंग चल रही है यार. टू बी ऑनेस्ट, मैं तो अभी थोड़े बेरिश सेंटिमेंट में बैठा हुआ. आई थिंक अगर मार्केट ऊपर आती भी है तो आई थिंक it's just going to be like a dead cat bounce, because the levels that it has to reach to sort of cement another bull move उसमें time है अभी, and I don't see that sort of buying pressure coming in anytime soon. So I believe we will see further move downside. I have my levels. I'm waiting for them. So
रियलिस्ट.
I am like
ऑलवेज
still
अप ओनली.
bullish here.
स्टिल
नहीं
बुलिश.
मतलब like I have no reason to be bearish right now. So I will be bearish when the time comes, when I see fundamentals lagging behind price. Like I mentioned, you guys can comment better on technicals. There's only one technical aspect that I look at, which is price action. I don't look at any other thing. So on the three fundamental things, one is, like I mentioned, fear greed index. We are practically at rock bottom right now, even though a BTC is trading at 80 to 85K, right? It reminds me of something that CZ had posted back in 2023, that remember, there will one day be a headline which will say that BTC has fallen from BTC has fallen below 100K, we are crashing, right? So these things. So I mean, we're talking about peak bearish sentiments at practically 20-30% of all-time highs, and that's just the BTC scenario, right? So from a fear and greed perspective, I think we are experiencing we are already experiencing death-like scenarios, right? And another thing that I'm looking at is something that I'm saying for the past couple of recordings, podcasts, our first live session today. So I'm repeating this, is that I think 10th of October has a lot of sort of bodies which are yet to sort of come out in the open, and we are seeing ripple effects of it. We saw this during FTX 2022 as well. We saw like a 3AC coming out after some point of time, right? And those are the kind of sort of big, large trading houses that went bust. So we're probably seeing stuff like that happen, and and we spent about 6 to 8 weeks battling that, sort of digesting that
But you're
entire move, and we are probably
but
seeing
you're
that
not
again right
seeing
now.
any structural breakdown as
I am not
such.
seeing it. Like I mentioned, why am I not seeing any structural breakdown? Because yeah, it's okay to look at price and say that price is probably breaking down, but like I said, we're seeing peak bearish sentiments already. We are seeing, and this is, we are 30% off all-time highs. Even from a technical perspective, and ETH has been grinding, has been coiling for 4 years, right? And we broke out from that 4-year range and we went up maybe like 1%. So that's a little odd to me. That's purely from a technical perspective. And a structural breakdown, like I mentioned, would be from a perspective that has price surpassed your fundamentals. The answer is no. We are actually looking at ecosystem TVL to MCAP at all-time lows. We are seeing stablecoin volumes versus ETH MCAP at all-time, that ratio at all-time lows. So we are seeing, which is why I don't have any reason to be structurally bearish. Had these 2-3 scenarios been extremely sort of jigged up, saying that, you know what, price is somewhere else and fundamentals are somewhere else. Like, this is for the first time ever in our sort of careers that, and in our experiences in crypto, that we are probably seeing fundamentals sort of exceeding price action. Not from a Bitcoin perspective, although a Bitcoin story is very different, but even from an Ethereum perspective, I think this is for the first time we are seeing that fundamentals is exceeding price and price is lagging. We've never seen this in the past two cycles, right? 2017 and 2021, we didn't see this back then. Especially in 2021, because at that time there was no fundamental, right? It was all pure speculation. I mean, prices would go up because gas prices were $1,000 per transaction. Obviously, prices would go up, and $1,000 is bullshit. I mean, in $1,000, you can't expect Wall Street to come on your chain if $1,000 is going to be a gas fees. And today, the Fusaka upgrade is currently being rolled out on testnet one by one. So we are looking at more L2 adoption. We are looking at more Ethereum adoption. So, like I mentioned, fundamentals are exceeding. So it's just a matter of time that price also catches up. And this is for the first time that we are making this statement, right? Because if you remember, all cycles we used to say that fundamentals will catch up, fundamentals will catch up.
Yeah.
What are we saying now? Price will catch up. Like, this is a big shift. This is a big shift, and I think people who are plowing in money right now are probably betting on this, and this is what I'm weighted towards as well. So, which is why I am not structurally bearish right now.
नरकुंडी, तूने ऑलरेडी क्या बोलते हैं कि मार्केट की वैसे इतनी लगा दी है, बाकी तूने इस लाइव स्ट्रीम की भी लगा दी है, लोगो लाया नहीं तू, इंट्रो वीडियो डाला नहीं तूने, तो एटलीस्ट मार्केट बता दे कि तेरे हिसाब से कहाँ जा रही है, और लुटा दे लोगों को, इस बार लुटा दे, खत्म ही कर, जो थोड़े बहुत $1-2
फना कर दूं. My take is again on long term. So episode 17, we spoke about how BTC CME gap, when it's higher, it gets bought out very quickly. It takes much shorter duration for TradFi to come in and swoop in at these prices. So if you check fear and greed, if you check CT, it looks like it's death. Like everyone is like farewell messages and all, but I think that's crap. Just like your, profit screenshots are fake. I think that it's a lot of just pure engagement farming, that I'm out, farewell. Twitter was mean to me, crypto was mean to me. I lost it. I don't believe any of that.
Dr. Profit.
I don't follow Dr. Profit, because if I do that, then I end up being in trader category, and I like to think I'm a better analyst than a trader. So I don't want to get into this zone. When BTC was at 87, I think we were discussing that it's a very dangerous territory to go in and start trading, and it did go down to 82 and all. So I would stay out in the short term, but long term, I think the fundamentals, how realists said, that they are stacking up. Price hasn't. If you look at DeFi, if you look at Aave, amount of TVL that it has is 10 times the current MCAP that it has. So stay long term, I would say. If you can ride it out, I think you'll get the benefit of it.
Wow, such क्या बोलते हैं कि good advice. It's a wise. You're a wise guy, bro. You're a wise guy.
I follow Jim Cramer. Don't worry, man.
You're Gandalf the bald.
बाल मेरे ऐसे हैं.
All right, चलो. What's on CT today? आज की क्या ताज़ा खबरें हैं? Let's go there. I'm sharing my screen. Ooh, yes. Sir, ऐड कर दो. Thank you.
जो हुकुम.
मेरे आका.
अच्छा boycott. You're going to cancel JP Morgan now?
No, so what happened is like this is like ये अभी बहुत ही तेज क्या बोलते हैं कि जोर पकड़ रहा है सीटी पे, and I don't know what is happening. पीछे किसी की आवाज आ रही है, but yes. All right. So ये बहुत ही जोर पकड़ रहा है इस पे strategy. Basically what happened was JP Morgan took out JP Morgan's analysts. They published like a newsletter where what they were saying is कि जो crypto treasury companies हैं, they will be excluded from MSCI index जो है, and that sort of led to a spark between like all the Bitcoin maxis and like everyone. So people have started calling for a boycott and started like closing their JP Morgan accounts. Obviously, this can be like a concerted effort as well. एंड ये क्या हो रहा है कि अब इस पे बड़े बड़े लोग आर गेटिंग इन्वॉल्व. वो ग्रांट कॉर्डो नहीं है, दैट गाय, बिग बिलियनर गाय, ही क्लोज लाइक हिज फुल जेपी मॉर्गन के अकाउंट बंद करके ही शिफ्टिंग टू सम अदर बैंक एंड स्टफ लाइक दैट. एंड आई एम गेसिंग कि some of these KOLs are being paid as well, but this is like turning into like a big news currently.
What I saw on this news recently is also that JP Morgan was actually excessively shorting Mr. stocks. That's the news, and I think one of the reasons why the whole CT is sort of pushing this narrative against JP Morgan is because because they're shorting Mr. It's going to push the price further down. They're also ये जो MSCI वाला पूरा setup था. And they're also linking it to the October 10th crash, that that happened because of this, that they wanted the prices to go down, push them out, and then sort of buy at lower pricing. There is a whole sort of gossip going around that. So I don't know what the truth is. I saw a couple of posts detailing how they did that. I don't know what's the truth behind it. But yeah, you're right. I think it's a pretty much shelled and paid out movement along with against JP Morgan right now.
Do you guys know Max Kaiser? इसका नाम सुना है तुमने? The guy, like, he's Bitcoin maxi billionaire. He's advisor to Nayab Bukele. So what happened was that guy, he started this. He put out on X that JP Morgan basically holds like a lot of short positions on MicroStrategy, and that is why they are making these announcements. And right before they published, their analyst published कि ये MSCI से लोग exclude होंगे, apparently JP Morgan sort of dumped 25% of their MSTR position in the market. I don't know, they're like turning out to be big. I don't know, इस पे जो इतनी ये सब जो रियलिस्ट, ये सब जो रूल्स रेगुलेशंस हम जिनकी बात कर रहे थे, जितने भी आ रही हैं, क्लैरिटी एक्ट, ये एक्ट, वो एक्ट, don't they prevent like things like these happening?
I don't think so, because we've seen that with what Hindenburg does. We've seen that with what any of these hedge funds will do, right, or research agencies will do, and JP Morgan is no different. And they're doing this in a completely regulated fashion, because everyone is allowed to have an outlook on say a particular asset which is listed, which is publicly being traded, or even could be a private market traded asset. And JP Morgan or Jamie Dimon, they're essentially leveraged, and they've done that before, right? Because we remember they used to call for Bitcoin being, they used to sort of cry out Bitcoin being crap, and they would go and buy positions once the price would fall. And they're doing the same thing. They're building short positions, and they're doing this. So they're not the wrong here, because they're essentially taking a short position, which is sort of publicly available data. And then they're saying that, you know what, this is why we're taking a short position. Now, looking at that, people end up reacting. So I somehow feel that we've seen that with Hindenburg all across the globe. They tried doing that in India as well. We saw that, right? And what happened to those prices? The prices are probably trading higher than what that report was when the prices were when that report was published against that Indian company. And secondly, even if you look at the kind of FUD which is going around with NVIDIA, right? That whole, it's a Ponzi scheme, it's that scheme, it's this scheme. Anyone who's crying for that are the people who've opened shorts, and they're sort of surprised by the fact that it's still going up and up. I mean, to be honest, interbilling between companies in terms of them buying a stake and then them sort of going and purchasing, etc. Because what they're kind of facing is, it's nothing to be, I mean, there's nothing alarming. They're just probably, the report talks about a working capital issue, which I don't think is anything of alarm. But again, so everybody will sort of try and blow that out of proportion. So they're doing that with DATs as well right now, saying that a DAT is nothing but the fact that all it does is it just holds assets and does nothing else. How can it be treated like companies? I think this is something for the SEC to sort of or the MSCI to sort of come out and say that, you know what, let us know what the company does, and if they're okay with this sort of a company being operating, etc., well within the purview of the law. It's not that an MSTR is working outside the purview of the law. So they're doing things extremely legally. So if they don't have a problem with it, yeah, you will always have, like, for example, when the Bitcoin OGs would say that BTC is going to 1 million. So if a Michael Saylor has every right to say that BTC one day is going to go to 1 million, I think a JP Morgan also has the right to say that the DATs are going to zero. So I think it's a play between two opinions, and the market is sort of dilly-dallying between the two. They're not doing anything wrong. No act prevents them from doing that, because what they're doing is absolutely legal. It's just that the market participants are sort of dilly-dallying between two opinions. But what they're doing, what these kind of short sellers are doing, and what I'm seeing with Nvidia as well, all of these people have short positions open, which is why they're sort of calling for doomsday scenarios. And they're just pissed off that their doomsday scenario isn't playing out.
Got it. चलो भाई, और क्या चल रहा है? Yes, हाँ, तो we were talking about smart money. Tom Lee added another $82.1 million worth of ETH over the weekend. ये देखा तुमने कि White House has announced that the Department of Government Efficiency is eliminated, and basically they've shut down Department of Government Efficiency DOGE because in a cost saving measure.
Apparently, the Department of Government Efficiency was not efficient enough.
सबसे पहले एक्सटर्नल स्क्रूटिनी को बंद करो. Business as usual, guys.
या ये बहुत लोगों ने आके सिस्टम चेंज करने की कोशिश करी है, एंड everyone thinks that they can fight the system, but the system has a lot of fight in it.
Matrix
It's not
one.
that easy. Yes, please, तो मैट्रिक्स के एंडिंग आज बता देना सबको कि what was the Matrix all about. पूरे वीकेंड इसने मुझे पकाया है, तो like please.
My God, I'm surprised he actually knows what Matrix is all about. कहीं यही तो हमारा नियो जीसस तो नहीं है कहीं?
Bald Jesus.
ये न्यू है तो मैं क्या बोलते हैं वो
Agent Smith. Oh, we've hit double-digit viewers on the stream. 10 viewers.
Oh wow!
Oh my God!
Amazing!
Whoa! Hey, whoever's joining, thank you so much.
Seriously?
Wow! हम इतने वेले बैठे कि लाइव स्ट्रीम के बीच में व्यूअर्स को थैंक कर रहे हैं, बट यस, चलो बिटकॉइन क्या बोलते हैं XRP मैक्सीज के लिए गुड न्यूज़ टोनी. फ्रैंकलिन टेम्पल्टन का XRP ETF अप्रूव हो गया. I don't know when they'll go live, but this is like good.
Bro, I think I told you guys this earlier that all these XRP ETFs are going to go live most probably in November, right? So like it started with I don't know किसका था वो उसका live हुआ था on the Bitwise का exactly. And then uske baad I told you that until November and probably first week of December also we'll see a couple of these ETFs going live. And we discussed this that day. Hey, just because ETFs are going live doesn't mean the price is going to rip up and going to go really ballistically high. But in fact, if anything, we are going to see some downwards action. So, and that's what we're seeing right now. I mean, it really hasn't made any effect. I mean, it's great news, but the effect is going to take some time to really put into the price.
मुझे तो लगता है कि ऑल्ट्स पे जो ETFs आ रहे हैं, they will go ballistic. मतलब they will take the prices ballistic. I don't know. I have a very because already जो alts हैं तेरे, either large cap, they have good volume, but like not the kind of ETF volumes that are. And if there are no backroom deals and OTC deals, and these are all going to be purchased on the exchange, then I think this is going to be very bullish for alts.
No doubt, that is true for sure. I mean, that, and to be honest, that is what we're saying the alt season is going to look like. When these sort of ETFs get in the volumes, they push the price up, and I'm guessing that this is going to coincide with the alt season that we're all hoping to come into. And that, to be honest, that is the sort of money flow that we're all waiting for. Okay, that's going to push the alt season to the new highs.
ठीक है भाई. Yes, so in the last 24 hours SUI has had $2.4 billion in inflows. I just want you to discuss that. Like, I mean, do we even know कि SUI पे क्या बन रहा है? Do you guys even know कि, like, what is happening on SUI?
I think no one knows. I think no one has an answer. I think we discussed this in the last cast that we had, or the last one that we had. I kind of feel that we will now see a flight to quality, because if we're relying on institutional capital to drive the next leg of the run, which is something that we've seen with BDC, right?
Yeah.
Because, I mean, obviously, if you're blaming institutional capital going out, we have to credit it with the rise as well. Because institutional capital is why OGs were able to offload billions and billions and dollars of their positions seamlessly in the market, right? So we have to say that institutional capital is going to find its way into alts as well. Now, when that happens, I kind of feel that they will sort of look at these projects from a very different lens. I don't think hype, as in the word hype, not the protocol, is what they will be chasing, because I don't think they'll be able to justify that to their ETF participants. Because imagine a fund manager or a fund salesperson telling you that let's buy this token because it's really hyped up. Or let's buy this ETF because it's really hyped up. Because his prospectus will have to showcase some prospect, which is measurable prospect, right? So I kind of feel that we will maybe see a flight to quality. And we discussed this the last time, that even this time the alt season is going to be concentrated to those maybe top 200, top 500 CMC, right?
Max, बहुत ज़्यादा बोल रहा है 500 तो.
Yeah, whatever, right? I'm just saying, because we've said that, like, I mean, 2021 was about 8,000 tokens, right? So I'm saying, so let's say even like top 250 CMC, right? That's the most, right? And the top 250 CMC might not look how it looks today, because if you're relying on institutional capital to come in, I don't know. I find it hard that they'll probably want to buy a token which is been around for 2 cycles and it's really hyped up. I don't think that's a pitch enough, a sales pitch enough. They will go for stuff that is actually being used, if we are banking on the fact that institutional capital is going to drive the next leg of the market.
See, $2.4 billion of stablecoin supply coming onto the Sweets blockchain, right? I mean, what is this? Like $2.4 billion, I have to assume is like some kind of institutional capital they're going to use. Sui pe jo aa raha hai. So like, why is it coming? But, like, it has to be
where would they use it, right? So I don't know what sort of institutional capital this is. This could probably be, I mean, you know what? You pay a bunch of money to Tether, and because these are, if it's Tether or USDC, it's a canonical stablecoin, so it's effectively backed somewhere, and it's essentially a bridged version on a particular network. So that's completely all right. Doesn't mean just because dollars exist in a particular network, and $2 billion is a drop in the ocean, right? It doesn't really move anything. Does it actually amount to transaction revenue being generated or any sort of activity? Because I don't know of any DeFi application existing on Sui. I've not really heard of any DeFi participants saying that, you know what, opportunities of Sui are better, let me go there.
What about any real world applications of Sui?
So one thing,
I think real world applications are doing much better. Like I mentioned, real world applications of what? Real world applications have chosen Ethereum by the end of the day. I mean, Wall Street is real world, and they've already chosen Ethereum. I think it's a no-brainer. Why am I saying that structurally? Why am I not bearish? Because it's a no-brainer. Wall Street has chosen Ethereum. It's today or tomorrow that this trade plays out. I'm not talking from by being a blind investor saying that it's going to go up forever. I'm talking from a positional trader perspective. It's a no-brainer because ETH today it's the chosen chain for Wall Street, and I don't think Wall Street thinks in a perspective that, you know what, I want to be there on 10 different chains. I want to farm yield there or do this here, because 90% of all transactions are effectively happening on Ethereum, which is actually logical transactions. Yeah, you have stuff going on Solana as well, which is Pump.Fun, which is the casino, but the real money is sort of moving around on Ethereum, and that's where people want to be. I don't know why anything else needs to. L2s will survive. L2s are a damn good story, but I don't know why the rest should.
Yeah, मेरे हिसाब से so you've in the last couple of weeks or maybe a month or so, we've seen so much stable coins sort of accumulation, right? People liquidating assets and everything, and I think this money we might see. I think maybe Sui is just the first one of them. We might see this sort of money getting parked into different L1s just until the right, like Realist is saying, because eventually all this money that is coming in from selling BTC, right? So you have billions that are in stables right now. Where is that money going? That is a big question that we need to ask, right? So far, it's sitting in stables, and eventually it will move into your top L1s or L2s or RWS or whatever. And as Eunice is saying, ETH is the chosen sort of chain for Wall Street. But of course, even on Wall Street, there are certain traders who might sort of take a slight different direction. And again, 2 billion is really a drop in the ocean for Wall Street. It's really not that much money for them. So it's just money parked here and there, and we'll actually have to wait and see as to where this money is actually moving into.
Today I won't. Yeah, sorry. Today अपन एक ऐसी बात कर रहे थे कि market इतनी गिर रही है. So are there any indicators which sort of suggest like a reversal कि यहाँ से market अब reverse करेगी? It can be like a chart pattern or it can be like a technical indicator. So who wants to go first? So I'll go first. I see there is this chart pattern and I don't know ये वाला point तेको याद है कि नहीं Realist? हम यहाँ पे BTC देख रहे थे जब BTC crash कर रहा था and then ये जो chart pattern है with an inverted hammer. I know you don't believe in technical analysis.
No, but I'm a big proponent. I mean, we've discussed chart patterns for the past 4 years, so
yeah,
doesn't mean that I give it weight, but definitely I know what you're talking about.
ये inverted hammer. So a big red candle with then an inverted green hammer with another green candle. Whenever you see this pattern, right, it will always like I'm yet to see this pattern जहाँ जहाँ से ये reverse नहीं हुआ. Like the trend hasn't reversed. Like it happens like once in like obviously like a long time. But जब ये आता है, so it is a confirmed indicator till now that I have seen for a reversal, like a change in direction of where the asset is going.
Last time और कभी हुआ था
ये काफी बार देखा होगा ये pattern. It's a very common reversal pattern, and I absolutely agree with you, Nav. I mean, it's what you're saying makes sense.
On a 4-hour chart, yeah.
Yeah, I'll tell you what the true test of the true litmus test is going to be in the couple of days, right? I think people are currently going to be speculating whether this is the bottom or not, right? And people are going to be building their positions accordingly. Some are waiting for 80s, right, or a break of 80s, and some are the ones who've bought in at that reversal space. That hammer has happened because people have bought in, right? So some have believed that.
No, अभी तक आया नहीं hammer. I'm just saying ये मैं पुराना दिखा रहा था तेको कि
understood. Fair enough. So.
Yeah.
So what I'm sort of saying is that the true litmus test is not going to be here. The true litmus test is going to happen at 100K, right? So I think what we are saying right now is irrelevant, whether we bounce from here, whether we bounce from $5,000 below. It doesn't matter. What's going to matter is what the consensus is at 100K. Because 100K, I think it's been a while since I've seen charts with indicators. I've just seen price action naked. But if I were to look at that, I'm pretty sure you will have some moving average around that zone, right? And 100K was anyway like a psychological breakdown zone, but I'm pretty sure you will have some indicator converging around somewhere there. Now, if that's the case, that is going to be the true litmus test, whether people unwind their long positions, whoever sort of participates in the short term, right? If they unwind there, or do we see a fresh build up there and a breakout from there and a short squeeze above that, right? I think that is going to be the deciding factor right now. It doesn't matter whether we reverse from here or whether we reverse $5,000 from below, because we are not going down in a straight zone, in a straight line, sorry. We will have a dead cat bounce. So I completely agree with crypto daddy. I agree with the fact that there is going to be I won't call it a dead cat bounce. I'll call it a bounce. I'll call it some positive price action amidst this negative downtrend. The true litmus test will be whether 100K breaks above and shorts start getting squeezed above that, or we reverse again from that 100K. I think that is what people should be focused on more, because it does not matter. Because trying to predict whether we reverse from here or $2,000 below or $2,000 above is like sitting at the slot machine in a casino, right?
So
what happens at 100K
average
is what is going to be a true is going to be the true point of analysis, is what I feel. So and there's a big camp, and there's a big camp today, and people that we know and follow.
Not just the 50s, the 50 and 200 both, actually.
Yeah, and they're sort of on the consensus that 100K is going to be the point of reversal. Like a Ben Cohen is saying that 100K is going to be the point of reversal. We maybe rally up till 100K and then we reverse back from there. So that is going to be the true test of for this supposed cycle that we're in. But yeah, that's going to be the point of analysis. Is what I would say.
So your 50-week moving average is at 100K. Your 200-day moving average is around that as well. And why Ben
98K.
Yeah, and why Ben Cohen is saying कि वहां से पलटेगा. So what he does is like he compares the chart today with similar points of BTC in previous cycles, right? And currently he's convinced that we are in a same chart pattern or same pattern as the 2019 cycle. And at that point of time, when BTC had sort of given up its 50-week moving average and closed like 2 weeks below that point, it then sort of rose up back to its, then sort of bounced back to its 200-day moving average, and then before continuing its further trend down. So that is what he is saying. That there are also like
which makes sense. Which makes sense because, but the only point of difference for me, and the only point of contention that I have probably with him, is the fact that economic conditions are very different from the past two cycles. Number one, right? I think we've been in a situation where jobless claims were sort of on the downtrend constantly from that point of time, because we were in a money printing sort of boom. And the other bit is, I don't know how much of this holds true. This is more like a conspiracy theory. The past two cycles were controlled by BTC OGs, right? Yeah. And those are the people who've now exited in a very large manner. Like I mentioned, the kind of BTC OG selling that we've seen in this cycle,
yeah,
this amount of selling, had it happened, the cycle would have been over last year. We wouldn't have been trading at 125K a month back. Let me tell you that much, right? So we are, and leverage not the situation here, because we've seen riskier leverage in crypto in the last cycle. We saw leverage without any collateral. We all leverage today is secure leverage. ADR as a concept did not exist last cycle. Let me tell you that much. ADR as a concept last cycle meant the trading shop shutting down. I mean, we've seen that with multiple sort of these firms, right? So it's very different. So leverage is something that I wouldn't blame. So for me, the conditions are very different this time. Like I mentioned, the people controlling or people interested in controlling the cycle last time are very, very different, which is why we've not seen an alt cycle this time, because the OGs this time were more focused on not hurting price, because I'm sure they're still holding on to some of their stack, right? Yeah. Their goal this time was, let's work with the institutions, let's offload gradually without hurting price and sentiment. Sentiment actually they can't control, because sentiment is CT. So let's sort of control price action as much as we can. And they were focused on exiting positions, which they've held for the past 15 years, right? That is what their focus was on. So, which is why I kind of feel that this cycle, even though history always rhymes, and so I would like to believe that this cycle is the same as the last till it's not. But I would say these conditions are very, very different. Those OGs are not interested in sort of retaining that 4-year structure, because 4-year structures don't come about because if somebody's controlling it with a remote control. It's because psyche sort of happens in that 4-year cycle, and that psyche which was leading to the 4-year cycles, that psyche is out of the market now. They are now planning their next moves, right? So which is why I kind of feel that while I have great respect for him as a chartist, I think he's probably the best out there right now. But the devil's advocate in me would say that, you know what, conditions are slightly different. Economic conditions definitely are different, but he is very good at finding similarities even in economic conditions, and he sort of convinces you that economic conditions, even though they're different, but in smaller subsets they look similar. But I kind of feel the real thing, which is money flow, right, which is something that governs any market, not just crypto but stocks, money markets, everything. Those participants are exiting right now, and they're exiting differently. Their goals are very different this cycle. Their goals are not to have this 4-year cycle repeat itself. Their goals are very, very different. So that money is operating very differently the way it had in 2021 and in 2017. So which is why I kind of feel that the indicators which he's looking at, because he's only looking at what's happened in the past, and what's happened in the past, those conditions are very, very different from what's happening right now.
Got it. Crypto Daddy या नरकुंडी, कौन जाएगा next?
I can go. Acha, like I said, I know realists and Narkundi are very sort of long-term bullish guys. You know, they look at things from a very long-term perspective, maybe 10, 15, 20 years. I don't look at it that way. I'm a trader. I look at it from a perspective of what's going to happen in the next year or so, right? And as realists say, that the litmus test is around the price action of 100K. And to be honest, my analysis says about 98K is what tells us. And the litmus test is basically your weekly closing above 98K, right? That's what's going to tell you, because it might touch 98K during the week, but that's what tells us is if people are offloading, right, then you're going to go back down. And if it gets rejected from 98K and doesn't really close that week above 98K, you're going to see more downside. And the reason why I say is, when we're talking about downside, there are a lot of people who actually trade, and there are some trading spots, and some are trading leverage, and most of people over leverage themselves, right? So you have to be very careful as to what your liquidation levels are, and how low can BTC go. I mean, at 10, 20, 30x, you need to be aware that, maybe BTC could go to 72K or 75K, and you need to be aware of these levels. So if you're trading actively, I look at it from perspective that BTC has come below its 200 moving average. It is now, hovering way under it. The next resistance that we're seeing, if it breaks 80, is 72 to 74K. And it doesn't mean that BTC can't go any lower, or BTC can't even touch 70 to 74K. My trading strategy would be, I would start loading up positions anywhere from 81K and below, right? And I will keep DCing and I'll keep adding it, because the idea is the same, that when we talk about bear market, it's not about having 2 years of bear. Yes, because like everybody's saying, things are changing. It's not going to be that way. You're not going to see a 60, 70, 80% drawdown. You can't expect BTC to go to, like, say, 50K. I mean, like we are saying that, we're lagging behind, price is lagging behind. But these corrections are healthy corrections that are required, and they help in trading. So I would place my orders around those times, and then and honestly, I mean, like, I'm looking at the 98K valuation. If BTC does cross 98K, then my trading strategy changes. Then I'm looking at things that are going much higher, right? And then probably BTC doesn't. I'm not saying that BTC is going to do a 2x from there, like it's going to do 250 or 300K, but that move of BTC from 100K to maybe 115K or 115K, which is where your major resistance is sitting, that move is what's going to sort of act as a catalyst for your altcoin market, right? It's going to push that altcoin rally that we've been waiting for. And when does that happen? Of course, we have to look. We can't say that it's going to happen in November or December or January. We have to look at the price. We have to look at the chart. We have to make sure that the price is either validated or invalidated, and then based on that, you trade accordingly. And that's what I'm going to be doing.
Narkundi.
I think that everybody,
Bald Neo.
Ladies ko pata chal gaya na. Anyways, so I think that When you talk about dips, I think everyone wants a dip until it's actually there. And fear and greed index, what everyone's posting on CT or whichever trading platform you're on, they're like, oh, it's down to 12, 10, whatever it might be. But I think this is the time when you can actually load up. Let me share my screen, which I looked at fear and greed index. We spoke about this. A second.
You're actually saying to load up. Actively telling people to load up.
Yes, you should.
Damn. There
That is
goes the
an
price.
indicator, guys. Don't wait for the correction.
Short.
The bottom is not in, obviously. Damn.
रुक जा भाई, रुक जा. Don't fear.
Even has data to back it up. That's worse.
Oh my god, the charts are gonna go off now, bro.
Acha, can you see CMC ka fear and greed index?
Yeah, we can.
So look at this slide. So okay, 2020 end, Trump came in, and then obviously everything didn't moon. Yes, it slid again. May it started, but the climb from extreme fear to greed was less than a month. And same, it's happening this time. Like it's sliding ways gradually. Everyone is like crashing out, leverage where people are losing faith. I think it's going to bounce even sharply. So this is from CMC. So it's looking at this last 1 year. Even if you zoom out and look at this alternative fear and greed index, this is charting from all the way from 2018. Look at the zones where it's been under 20. It doesn't stay for long. So when will it change? I don't know. But if you wanted to buy something at a discount, I think this is the time. So then don't complain, oh, now it's back to 100. Now I missed it. Now I have to wait for it to go to reach some
Please, this
milestone.
is not financial advice. We don't give financial advice. You guys are free to decide what you need to do. We are not telling anyone to buy or load
like
up
I
anything.
said, this time he's come with data. It's worse this time.
Can you stop sharing that screen, please?
We'll have to delete the entire stream then, because
Yeah.
my credibility is on the line now.
This is not, guys, please don't take this as financial advice. We beg you.
Please buy for long term. If you're in alts, if you're already positioned, stay there.
इतने पूरे दिन में ये पहली बार आज आया है कि buy bitches.
और ये देखो data.
और ये देखो data.
Guys, panic sells, right? Like all those engagement farming trees, like farewell ones, and that's all bullshit. Like if you can't survive one downturn, then maybe you are over leveraged to risk. Like it's not the market.
I'll show you something. It's maybe wrong, but it's really interesting. I'll show you something. Adil, can you give me access to the screen? Wait.
Request kar.
Give me 1 minute. I know it's just something I zoomed out and I saw and sort of realized with the such a boomer move.
Guys, it's Starlink's fault, not us.
No, me. My I'm not. I don't always blame you, bro.
Okay. चलो तेरा वॉलपेपर दिख रहा है बट
कौन सा वॉलपेपर दिख रहा है भाई
कोई हसीन बीच पे
It's okay.
Guys, we have now reached 15 live viewers. Oh my god.
Wow.
Oof.
Okay.
The bots have come. The bots have come to our rescue.
अब तो लोकेशन भी पता है, so guys, please. कहाँ है स्क्रीन है मिस्टर टोनी? Under pressure for those 15 viewers.
Can you please send access?
Yeah, रुक जा, इसको remove करता हूँ, इसको.
Perfect. Can you see the chart? Okay. So, I've been saying, okay, like 200 moving average se niche gir gaya, toot gaya, and there's this trend line that BTC needs to revert back from, right? And I've been talking about this chart for a while. What I did today was I just wanted to see if I zoom out a little more, what do we see, right? And yeah, the chart looks weird, but give me 1 minute. Yeah, same trend line, right? And what is happening is, if I'm corrected a little bit better, there you go. So BTC is currently sitting here. The when I say 72, 73 is what I'm looking at, right? Literally, that is where it needs to sort of touch to revert back to sort of move back up. And this is where what I'm counting on, right? So this is what I'm looking at. BTC has the tendency to sort of always, I know, you have your economic data and everything, but BTC also has a tendency to sort of move in their certain pattern. And I think I'm not saying that this is not a good time to buy. Of course, it's a good time to buy, but I believe that there is a possibility that we can touch this trend line and then move back up. I would personally keep loading all the way down till it touches that line and then wait for it. That's what I would do.
So you think 72, 73?
Yep.
That is pretty much bear market territory.
No, it's not, bro. Bear market territory. See, this is where most people are getting confused, right? Bear market territory. If you look at the previous cycles, it was down 70%, 80% down. I mean, BDC goes to 25K, goes back to like $3,000. It touches 50K, goes back to $15,000. Those were bear market pricing. From the current pricing, if you look at, we're at 40% down. It's not bear market. These are corrections. BTC has done corrections of 35, 40% in the previous markets as well. You just need to look at it from it's not always that every time BTC is moving down, it's bear market. No, sometimes these are just corrections.
Yeah, but it is a bear market correction.
No, I will. It's not bear market. Bear market means the price goes down to, let's say, 50K or 40K and then survives there for another 6 months. That's what you call a bear market.
I would disagree. The market thap ho jayegi if it goes to 70K, like it'll be dead.
Guys, this echo. One of you go mute, please.
Let's see, bro. I mean, this is what I feel, and I'm not saying that this is the exact point where I'm going to buy. Like I said, I'm going to start loading up anyway from 81K and below, and I'm going to keep DCing as it further goes down. And if it reverses anywhere before that, I'm going to load up more and move up. That's what I'm going to do. But like I said, if you're trading, if you're leveraged, you need to be careful as to what your liquidation valuations are.
All right. तो ठीक है, चलो भाई आज के लिए बस करते हैं. अपने हमारे जो कितने 15 व्यूअर कहाँ पे, X पे कि YouTube पे? Where on X?
15 on X and 2 on YouTube.
Oh wow. So चलो भाई.
We smashed all our previous records.
Obviously, for all those 17 viewers, thank you for joining in. It was a good live stream. Thank you, Realist. Thank you, Narkundi. Thank you, Crypto Daddy. We'll be doing another show tomorrow, same time zone. So yeah, adios.
Take care.
Bye, guys. Take care.